Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I hope all of you are fine and doing well. So, topic here we are going to discuss it is the introduction to Group 5A and 6A elements. Basically, when we have a look on simple periodic table, we just find out that the periodic table has been divided into different groups as well as into different periods. Now, what are these groups and periods? Basically, there are total 7 periods in the periodic table, and there are total 10 groups in the periodic table, from which each group is representing its own specific type of the elements. So, here we are going to read just group 5A and 6A, in which the group 5A elements are these are also called group 15A elements, that is known as the nitrogen group elements, and the group 6A elements are denoting by the 16 or the 6A elements, and these are called as the oxygen group elements. So the first member just gives the specific name to its group, which is a representative group for the simple all other elements. Now here this group is just showing that nitrogen and oxygen group elements are basically non-metals in nature, and when one non-metal combines with the other non-metals, it forms a bond which is called as the covalent bond. Now, what are the main properties, or like the physical properties of these elements? We have a look. First, we have the group 5A elements. Basically, the group 5A, it is consisting of total 5 elements, in which the first one is nitrogen, second is phosphorus, third is arsenic, the fourth one is antimony, and the last one is bismuth. Now, what is the atomic number of these elements? The first one is nitrogen. Its atomic number is 7. Electronic configuration for the valence shell is 2s2 2p3, that it contains 5 electrons in the valence shell. On all the elements, you can see that they have the 5 electrons in their valence shell. Now that number 2, 3, 4, and 5, it just denotes its period number, but all have just 5 electrons in their valence shell, and to complete their octet all just require 3 more electrons. So in turn their valency will be 5, because they are already having 5 electrons and they required more 3 electrons in their valence shell. Now what will be the physical appearance of these elements? The first one, nitrogen, it is a colorless gas. Next, the phosphorus, it is basically in the black color. Arsenic, it is having the metallic color. Bismuth and antimony both are also metallic in nature. Now the ionization energy, it is a simple energy that is used to remove the electron from the valence shell. It is used to remove electron from the valence shell, and the unit that we can use for it, it is kilojoules per mole. Now for the first one we have nitrogen, its ionization energy is 1402, and the last one is having 700. It's mean when we move from top to bottom in the group, the ionization energy decreases for this. The reason just is that because the atomic size of the atoms increases, and when atomic size increases, the electrons are moving away from the nucleus, which is the central part, the positively charged part, and it attracts the electron more tightly towards itself. So when the atomic size increases, now these electrons are moving away from the nucleus, and when they are moving away from the nucleus, so the force will be decreases, and we can easily remove that electron from the valence shell. Next, we have the electron affinity. Electron affinity, it is the exothermic process in which the energy is released. So that's why you can easily see the negative charge along with this energy that is given in the kilojoule per mole. And electron affinity is a simple amount of energy released when we just want to add up an electron in the valence shell. So the electron affinity is -7 for the nitrogen, and the last one we have -10. That also decreases when we move from top to bottom. Next, the electronegativity. Among all the group 5A elements, starting from nitrogen to bismuth, The nitrogen has highest electronegativity. It is the force of attraction or the ability to attract the electron towards itself in a chemical bond. Next is its atomic radius that is given in picometer. The first one is having 70 and the last one is having 157. So when we move from top to bottom, the atomic radius increases. Next, the ionic radius, it also increases when we move from top to bottom. Then we talk about the melting point that is given in the degree Celsius. The melting point of nitrogen is minus 210 and that of bismuth is 271. It means the melting point increases from top to bottom. The boiling point is also given in degrees Celsius and the first one is having minus 196 degrees Celsius and the last one is having 1560. It also increases from top to bottom. Next we talk about the density. Density is formula is mass per volume ratio. The density of nitrogen is almost 0.00125 gram per cm cube. And when we move from top to bottom, the density of the bismuth just becomes 9.80. It means it is more denser as compared to the water. And when we just put up it in the water, it started to float over its surface. So the density also increases by moving from top to bottom in the periodic table. The last one is their principal oxidation states. The nitrogen, it can exist in the two oxidation states, which one the plus 3 and plus 5. The phosphorus same like that, arsenic same, bismuth and antimony, all that they can exist in the plus 3 and plus 5 oxidation states. So this was the group 5A elements. Next we have the group 6A elements along with their some physical properties. The first one physical property of this is their atomic number. The oxygen is having 8 atomic number and valence shell electronic configuration is 2s2 2p4. It means it contains total 6 electrons in its valence shell. Likewise, the sulfur also contains 6 electrons. Selenium, tellurium and polonium all contain 6 electrons in their valence shell and the atomic number just ends up at 84 means it increases when we move from top to bottom. Next property is electronic configuration. We have already just learned they all contain 6 electrons in their valence shell. Then third one is ionization energy that is given in the kilojoule per mole. So this energy is required to remove the electron from the valence shell. As we move from top to bottom in the group, the first one is having 1314 kilojoule per mole and the last one is having 813 kilojoule per mole means it decreases when we move from top to bottom. Likewise, electron affinity, the amount of energy required to add an electron in the valence shell, and it also decreases when we move from top to bottom. Then we talk about the electronegativity in which the oxygen is having highest electronegativity among all the group 6 elements that is 3.5 and the last one is having 2.0 electronic or electronegativity power. Then atomic radius, the first one is 66 picometer and the last one is 152 picometer means the atomic radius increases as you move from top to bottom. Ionic radius likewise it also increases because the atomic size increases so their ionic size will also be greater as compared to the oxygen. Then we talk about melting point that is given in the degrees Celsius. The first one is having minus 218 degrees Celsius melting point. As we move down, the melting point increases because the atomic radius increases and ionic radius also increases along with that. We talk about the boiling point that is given in the degrees Celsius. It is minus 18. Basically, the boiling point is the temperature at which the substance started to boil and changes into the vapor phase. The last one is 962. It means the boiling point also increases as we move from top to bottom. The last one is density, which is mass to unit volume ratio 0.0143 and last one is 9.4 which is more denser. So density is also increases when we move from top to bottom. So this was a simple overview about the group 6A elements physical properties. I hope you guys understand and if you have any queries you may ask me about that in the comment section. The next topic that we will discuss it is the general characteristics of the nitrogen and phosphorus. For that time guys keep learning and have a good day.